500 streams and downloads. 500. I don't care if one person played the podcast from the beginning to the end 500 times, but we have 500 streams and download, guys. Come on. I'm so excited. I am so excited. The funny thing is that our journey on here has been, I wouldn't call it slow, honestly, but has been steady, because last I checked, it was just like, just one person listening, or just like two people listening, and then 5, and then at just one random point, because what I told myself at the beginning of creating the safe space was that, okay, it's just going to be me. And like you mentioned, I don't know if any of you knew, but for a year it was just me posting, and nobody knew about it. I didn't share the link with anybody. I just started a podcast, and it was just for myself alone. I don't know what happened, but I know what happened. I was scared to start something again because I had done something similar. And so I decided, you know what, let us put it out there. And we put it out there with series of interviews of people's stories, personal stories. We had that interview of identity with Olaide Tijesu Remy. We had that interview about growth with Fermi. We had, numerous interviews like that. We had interviews about evangelism. I shared my own story about evangelism series in the bus, preaching in the bus. We had that living a life, like a Christ-like life in the market. We had that with Adewumi. We just had those series of interviews like that, and we officially started the Safe Space Podcast 2023-ish, and this is 2026. And just one random time, was it 2023 or 2024? I think it was 2024. Funny thing, I can't remember. Okay, yes, I started it 2023, ending of 2023, but we started posting officially 2024. Yeah, I remember, you guys. But anyways, let's just say it's been 2 years, roughly 3 years, and I think it was last year I just randomly checked. I don't know, my head just went there, and I saw 30 plus followers on Spotify. I'm like, wait, 30 people are listening to the podcast. I don't know if it's more than that now. And then last year, they took off comments. Some of your comments has been encouraging before they took off comments for Nigeria. I don't know why Spotify did that, but anyway, they took off comments. And yet, when the old statistics came out, 2025 most talked about show, 2025 most shared show, I'm like, what are these words? If you follow me personally, if you know me personally on Instagram or WhatsApp, you would have seen my post about that. I shared those achievements, and I really, really thanked people that were listening. I was so grateful about those achievements. And the most listened to show a year before, last year, it was, I can't remember, but a year before last year, it was this very noisy episode that was so random and so, it was just caught off guard. I just recorded it and I posted it, and a lot of people listened to it, and it was talking about moving over self, moving over flesh, and it was like, is that very raw, would I say excellent, because the noise was still there, because I was recording it very close to a generator, so there was just a lot of noise. I was not in a quiet place or a studio to record it, but yet a lot of people listened to it. They took out words from it and they enjoyed the episode, and that still blows my mind till date. And to not think about it, 500 streams and downloads. Oh my god, I am so excited. We are partying. Wherever you are, just turn up, whether I'm there or not. Just turn up and just be like, this is the safe space party. Like, if anybody asks you, just tell them you cannot understand except you want to join us. If you're not joining us, please Don't question us. This is the Safe Space Podcast party. Champagne. I'm so excited, and I'm sure you can catch the excitement. This is really surreal. But of course, we cannot do any episode without sharing something with us, right? And what I would love to share is, okay, so I'm going to check. The top episode for last year was God's Loving Friendship. Wow, that was like my most venerable. I think it's always my most venerable episodes that always go out there. And I shared how I learned God's love from the people I had as friends, or the people I have as friends. And honestly, guys, 2025 was our year. We grew a lot. 50% increase in our total audience, 200% increase in new audience, in the total of our new audience. All of you that just came from nowhere and just be like, you know what, I want to listen to this safe space because it brings me safety and it's my safe space. We had 72% increase in followers. It was our most shared show. It was the 2025 most shared show, 2025 fan fave. I think this blows my mind. It was hashtag #1 podcast for 9 people. Like 9 people listening to other podcasts think of the Safe Space Podcast as their hashtag #1. It's like they listen to it that much. Come on, guys. That is I loved it so much. 10% increase in listening time. 2025 was hit. 2025 was lit. And I don't think we were able to do Wrapped for last year. The last episode I posted was wishing you a happy new year. That was not last episode right here, even this new year, that was in March. But last year I talked about happy new year, happy new you, and how the happy new year is always like a new season for us and we should see it as such. And then this is the second episode for this year, all thanks to me. And I know I really should treat you guys better by sticking to my promise of bi-weekly every time and not delaying, posting for the year. Because last year too, I think we started posting it was not April or so that we started posting again. This time around is March. Please forgive me. But anyways, like I mentioned again, we would not end this episode without talking about a particular lesson that this year has been teaching each and every one of us. What comes to mind right now is the consistent persecution of Christians in the north. I really think that we should put these people in our prayers. No, I do not think. I know that this is something that we should do. If you're not doing it already, do not think, it doesn't concern me. Do not think, it's none of my, it's not close to me. I mean, you might not think that way, but with our actions, it is portraying that when we, for some of us that do not like hearing or listening to bad news, we just hate any kind of unfortunate news whatsoever. We do not want to see gory images, we don't want to watch gory videos. I get it, I totally get it, but do not act totally oblivious about the things that are happening that needs our urgent attention. Aside from the persecution, pray about the governance, pray about the government, pray about all the things that have been happening in this country, from the bad light situation. I'm talking about people in Nigeria now. And even if you're a Nigerian outside of Nigeria, even if you are not a Nigerian and you're listening to me, this is something that you should also, pray about for us in this country. Pray about for us in this country. If you have people, even if you don't have people, just intercede for us. But in these times, this is the time where we should hold on to God even much more. This is the time where we should really, really celebrate our wins. You might ask how it correlates, but they encourage us. they encourage us, and this is the time for us to think globally. This is the time for us to think of ourselves as solutions to the world and to our country. To think that you just want to get by, you just want to have a minimal amount of success, you just want to have a good job, have comfortable money, be able to spend on your family, be able to spend on yourself, and you think that that is the height of what you want to get, that is so outdated. That is so last year. That's so years ago, not even last year. We ought to start thinking, myself included, we ought to start being solution minded. What do I have to offer? What can I bring to the table? That sounds so much like a relationship podcast thingy. But anyways, how am I a solution to others? How am I a solution to others? This is not the time for us to live selfishly. How can I be a solution to others? How can I be a person of impact? Who knows? Someone somewhere that is supposed to be the next president and take us out of all this wahala, brahaha. He's probably out there and thinking of just himself or just herself and just being like, Nigeria, I just want to jackpot, or I just want to have like a millionaire in my account and do all the things that I want to do and go to the Maldives and go and all of those things. We reject that mentality in the name of Jesus. Sorry. I feel so unserious, but regardless, I am so grateful for you guys, and I'm so grateful for my own contribution to the society with this podcast. But much more than this, we ought to attain much more than this. This is just the list of what we can do, of what I can do. And so until next time, study, pray, live life to the fullest. Life is so fickle, so fickle. At every point of your waking life, think about what you ought to do that you're not doing, and do them immediately, because in just a second, in just a blink of an eye, everything can be gone. Life can be gone, and you see yourself in another place, probably in heaven or anywhere that you're sure that you're going, and then you start to wonder, how have I lived my life? Did I fulfill purpose? Did I make impact? And I think that is the big question of our life. How am I going to make impact? How am I going to allow myself to be used by God in my generation, in this lifetime, in my lifetime? Okay. Bye.